Imagine if, one by one, every single cell in your body was replaced. Would you still be you? This strange question is at the heart of one of the oldest and most mind-bending puzzles in history, the Ship of Theseus Paradox. It's a thought experiment that has captivated thinkers for centuries, forcing us to question our deepest ideas about who we are, how we change, and what it even means to exist. Let's start with a story. Picture a legendary wooden ship, famous for its heroic journeys. Over the years, as it sails the seas, its wooden planks begin to rot and wear away. To keep the ship afloat, each time a plank gets old, it's replaced with a new one. This process continues for decades, until eventually, not a single piece of the original wood remains. The ship looks the same, sails the same routes, and everyone still calls it by its famous name. But here's the question that's maddeningly complex. Is it still the same ship? At what point did it stop being the original? This puzzle forces us to confront the tension between staying the same and constantly changing. It reveals that identity, whether for a ship or for a person, might be far more flexible and mysterious than we think. The story itself comes to us from ancient Greece, first written down by the famous historian Plutarch. He told the tale of the ship belonging to the mythical hero, Theseus. Theseus was a legendary figure in Greek mythology, and his ship wasn't just a boat, it was a powerful symbol. It represented permanence in a world that was always in flux. So, when Plutarch asked if the ship, with all its parts replaced, was still the same ship, he wasn't just talking about wood. He was tapping into one of the biggest philosophical debates of his time, the struggle between permanence and change. The ship became a metaphor for the deepest questions about the nature of existence itself. At its core, the Ship of Theseus Paradox is all about identity through change. It challenges the common-sense idea that an object's identity is tied only to the physical stuff it's made of. The real puzzle isn't just that the parts are replaced. The puzzle is that despite the physical transformation, we still have this strong feeling that the ship has remained the same entity. Its history, its name, and its function all continue. But the paradox gets even weirder. The English philosopher Thomas Hobbes added a brilliant twist that takes this puzzle to a whole new level, known as the two-ship problem. Imagine the shipkeeper who was replacing all those old planks. Instead of throwing them away, he was a meticulous collector. He carefully saved every single original worn-out piece of wood. Once the first ship had been completely rebuilt with all new materials, the shipkeeper took that pile of old original planks and reconstructed a second ship. Now you have two ships standing side by side. This creates the ultimate philosophical dilemma. Which one is the true, original Ship of Theseus? Is it the one that maintained its function and sailed continuously, but is made of entirely new parts? Or is it the one sitting in the dock, made of all the original pieces, but which had been taken apart and put back together? Hobbes' twist forces us to consider that the essence of something might be more than just its physical components. It suggests there's something deeper than just matter that defines what a thing truly is. Over the centuries, philosophers have proposed several ways to solve this. One idea is the material constitution theory. This view argues that an object's identity isn't just about its physical parts, but about its structure and its function. According to this theory, the first ship, the one that kept sailing's the real Ship of Theseus. Its identity is tied to its continuous history and its purpose, not the specific wood it's made from. Then there's a more radical idea called the temporal parts theory. This theory suggests that we should think of objects not as three-dimensional things, but as four-dimensional beings stretching through time, like a long snake. Every moment of an object's existence is just one temporal part of its entire life. So, the ship with new parts and the reconstructed ship are simply two different parts of a larger ship history. The problem disappears because there is no single, fixed identity. Identity is a continuous journey through time. A more modern approach comes from cognitive science. This perspective suggests the answer isn't in the ship itself, but in our own minds. It looks at how our brains recognize and remember things. We perceive the ship as the same because its form, its story, and its history, what we might call its narrative identity, remain continuous, even as its physical matter changes. Our sense of self works in a similar way. It's a story our brain tells, built from memories and perception, not just a collection of atoms. And this isn't just a Greek idea. The same paradox appears in cultures all over the world. There's the story of grandfather's axe, which has had its handle replaced 3 times and its head replaced twice. Is it still grandfather's axe? In British comedy, there's a famous joke about Trigger's broom, which he claims to have used for 20 years, even though it's had 17 new heads and 14 new handles. Even the Ise Grand Shrine in Japan, a sacred site, is completely torn down and rebuilt, with new wood every 20 years as part of a ritual. Yet it maintains its profound spiritual identity. This shows that all cultures grapple with this fundamental question of permanence versus transformation. Today, in our world of rapid technological change, this ancient puzzle is more relevant than ever. Think about artificial intelligence. As AI systems learn, they constantly update and modify their own code. So, does an AI remain the same entity if its algorithms are replaced, piece by piece, through machine learning? This raises huge questions about accountability and identity for AI systems. If an AI causes harm, who is responsible if its code is completely different from when it was first created? And, of course, the paradox applies directly to our own personal identity. It's a biological fact that nearly every cell in your body is replaced over the course of 7 to 10 years. You are not physically the same person you were a decade ago. If your memories and your consciousness are what truly define you, what happens if those memories could one day be altered, or even uploaded and digitized? Where does your self reside then? Science and metaphysics offer different ideas, but there's no single easy answer. The debate often boils down to a conflict between two concepts: material identity, which is the physical stuff you're made of, and functional identity, which is the role you play and the continuity you maintain. The reconstructed ship has material identity with the original, but the traveling ship has functional identity, carrying on the original mission. Modern science, especially quantum physics, tells us that at a subatomic level, everything is in a constant state of flux. Nothing is truly static. From this perspective, the Ship of Theseus isn't a paradox at all. It's simply a description of reality. It's a continuous process of change that our minds organize into a single, coherent story. The identity isn't in the parts. It's in the pattern, the information, and the narrative. In the end, the Ship of Theseus Paradox is an eternal question. It's a kind of philosophical trick, designed not to have a single correct answer, but to make us think. It pushes us to look beyond the surface and ask those vast questions about existence. In our fast-changing world, it's a powerful tool for thinking about personal growth, our digital selves, and the fundamental mystery of what it means to be alive and maintain a self when everything around us and within us is constantly changing. So, whether you side with the ship that kept sailing, or the one rebuilt from the original parts, the true lesson is this: identity is not a fixed state, it is a process. And the ability to even ask such a profound question is one of the greatest privileges of being human. Now, I want to turn the question over to you. When you think about your own identity, do you feel it relies more on your continuous stream of memories and consciousness, or on the fact that you have the same physical body from one day to the next? And in the two-ship problem, which one do you think is the real Ship of Theseus? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into philosophical thought, be sure to subscribe for more